I like this one here. The quote is, "I can't take it anymore." And, I don't think he can take television anymore. He's probably watching CNN and he's overwhelmed by all the bad, like the oil spill. He's overwhelmed by the oil spill and all the stuff that is taking place in the world and in America. And a lot of people, I would say, cannot take television anymore because it's not what it used to be in the days of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and things such as that. Yeah. So yeah, that's my interpretation of that one. I like that one.
The paperboy is riding his Huffy and tossing papers with the precision of a clockmaker. Well, maybe more like an apprentice clockmaker wearing mittens. He'll occasionally hit a door, but mostly his papers fall into bushes, knocks against a window, or drops in a bird bath. He tosses a paper into a puddle of mud, curses once, and then looks in front of him just in time to dodge a little girl with a huge bow skipping rope. Just as he's coming up to a tall row of shrubs, a rubber garbage can drops in front of the sidewalk, almost causing him to crash. A grumpy old man jumps out of the shrubs and gets right in front of the boy's bike. "You!" the old coot shouts. "Now you listen to me, and listen good. I've told you time and time again, when you come to my house, you walk right up and set the paper on the porch, right? You do not throw it in the air. Do I make myself clear?" "Yes, sir," says the boy. "You see the sign, don't you?" yells the geezer. He points to a sign with 2 flies inside a red circle with a line going across. "No fly zone. That means no planes, no birds, no flies, and definitely no papers flying through the air. Is that clear?" "Yes, sir." "Good," the old man shouts while grabbing a paper. "Now go on and get a whole other thing. Take it on. You know what the thing to do." The boy speeds off as the old man starts a mumbling rant that would shame Popeye himself. He then shuffles up the porch to his chair and plops down, letting out a pained grunt. He opens up the paper to the headline, "Winchester Ruby stolen from City Museum. Guard found drugged." "Meh," says the old man. "Whole darn world going into taking a thing with it, leaving them. You may be asking yourself, what would turn a person into such a mean, miserable curmudgeon? Well, in this case, as it is with many, it was a broken heart. No, the old man wasn't always so grim. As a young man, he had a bounce in his step, a smile on his face, and a beautiful young girl on his arm. Then, that dashing, smooth-talking entomologist swaggered into town. That handsome, sly scientist giving his polished lectures on his specialty, Diptera, flies, boasting and bragging about his world travels and all the lives he saved from disease. The old man's lost love couldn't resist the entomologist's savvy charms, and she ran off. As the man aged, his bitterness calcified into the hard old grump you see before you. He took his anger out not just on his forlorn lover and the charming entomologist, but on the flies themselves. And not just the flies, but any object, living or no, that had the audacity to leave the Earth's gravity for more than a few seconds.
The little girl feels that she is having her mind being controlled by an octopus, and that octopus is very much the television. The octopus stands for the television, and and they just can't take it anymore.
So then what's this guy?
Well, this is Buddy Steve.
Oh.
So.
Wait, why doesn't he eat Steve?
Oh, Steve's just got a weird thing going on. He's kind of stinky.
Is he like half fish?
No, he runs a lot.
Oh, so he's
Obviously.
running away.
Yeah. See, it looks like a mask, but it's really a headband. It's a sweatband. To keep the sweat out of his eyes. He runs a lot. Steve.
A year back, there was a Frenchman traveling in the States who was told by a friend that if he could only see one attraction in the U.S., it would be Olio's magnificent marine park. Forget the Statue of Liberty, the St. Louis Arch, the Sears Tower, or the Grand Canyon, his friend advised. Olio's is the place to be. The Frenchman followed his advice and made sure to sit in the front row of every exhibit. While seeing Mr. Speech, the incredible talking shark, perform, the most unexpected thing happened. When Mr. Speech jumped halfway out of the water, lodging his stomach into the edge of the tank and letting out his guffaw, he ejected the smallest bit of spittle from his mouth. It flew through the air onto the Frenchman's tie. The Frenchman didn't notice at first, but he kept smelling a delightful odor throughout the rest of the day. He had a keen sense of smell because his family was in perfume. While at his hotel bar that night, his pheromonic affectation attracted the attention of the most beautiful woman, who he proposed to that very night. The next morning, he realized that it was Mr. Speech's spittle on his tie. He got on the next flight back to Paris to go tell his brother that ran the family perfumery. On his way, he stopped by a bar, as was his custom, and started sharing his amazing story. He explained that traditionally, ambergris had been used in some of the finest perfume. Ambergris is a waxy substance found in the digestive tracts of sperm whales, its value of which is far more than that of gold. But this special shark's spittle holds a far more delightful odor and will be used to make the finest perfume ever made. Now it's just a matter of procuring the shark, which he says they will trade for a team of singing seals and as much money as it will take. Among the barflies listening that night are 5 actual flies affixed to a tall, shady man and his teeny tiny partner. Needless to say, the Frenchman never made it out of the bar. Tonight, the same 2 men stand at the exterior wall of Olio's magnificent marine park. The tall man pulls out a green vial, to which the fly takes a drink, and then releases him out into the air. The night watchman is enjoying a routine of the square-dancing cephalopods. The dance caller is an octopus the park saved from an underground Canadian octopus fighting ring. When they found him, he only had 3 tentacles left. The park's caretakers nursed him back to health, and while he couldn't dance with the others, he fit in perfectly as the dance caller, wearing his cowboy hat and miming playing the fiddle. He is one of the night watchman's favorites. As the night watchman does his watching, he feels a bite at the back of his neck. He tries to swat a fly, who buzzes away. "Darn," says the watchman, and ambles off to another exhibit. By the time his replacement comes in, late as usual, most of the color has drained away from his face, and he is sweating profusely. "Mornin', Sam," says the day man. "Muh," says the night watchman. "Say, are you okay?" "Yeah," says the night watchman. "I just need to get some rest." And he heads off home.
It's almost the exact same thing down here. He's just swearing, and he's like looking at the television. He's like, no more. I can't take it. I can't take anymore. And he's not looking at the television anymore, and he's looking out of it at the viewer, which might imply more terrifying things like the character is aware of its own increate existence, and it can't handle being a fictional character anymore. It's stuck in this world of paper and ink and color, and it wants to be real, but it can't be. So it's trapped in this eternal looping struggle of realizing that and coming to a cathartic release of those frustrations. But I think it's probably just that he can't take the television anymore. And there's like a shark down here eating a dude.